Morning. Hello. Very good morning from Edinburgh. I just thought I would do a live today. I've not done a live for ages because it's been ever so busy, and I'm sure you've been the same, with portfolios and getting your work ready for school and all kinds of things. It's a busy time of year, isn't it? November, December, and then run up to Christmas. But I wanted to talk to you just a little bit about your digital portfolios and your applications, I suppose, too. Trying to give you just a little bit more guidance on, what you can be doing at the moment to try and help, I suppose, stress levels and workloads, in preparation for January, for when the portfolios are due. So what I've been working on with students recently to try and just make sure that too much work doesn't become overload in January is really getting organised now, making sure that the institutions that you're applying for, making sure that you have all the details of what they're asking for. Now remember, there's quite a few colleges across the UK that that do interviews, that will invite you for interview, but please be aware that this may not be the case this year. A lot of open days have been on, virtual open days, and I'm hoping that many of you have been to these and found out that perhaps the colleges that you're applying for won't be doing interviews. They'll be doing possibly Skype interviews with a digital portfolio. So just to make sure that you're actually aware of what's going on, what's going to be expected of you, so that when you get the email from UCAS saying yes, we've got your application, and you get a call for a digital portfolio, having thought perhaps you weren't going to have to do one, that you're ready. Okay, so this is what I've been working with students on, in making sure that they know what to expect. But I suppose the first things first really are that you are spending some time documenting your work, so not leaving it all necessarily until January. The problems I find with students taking photographs of their work, particularly at this time of year, is the lighting conditions. Okay, so what you really need to do when you're photographing your work is to make sure that you start with the very, very best photos you can do to begin with. There's no point taking photographs in the evenings, in the house, when you've got, a main light on in your living room. You really need to be taking photographs outside in daylight. Today is a fabulous day for taking photos of artwork. Take your work outside. Your phone on your camera on your phone is fine. The quality is fine, but what's really important is taking it in plenty of daylight. Okay, I get images from students that have got a completely blue cast over them sometimes, or a very orange cast, or if the lighting is really, really low, the actual image is out of focus. It's blurred, it's got some motion blur on it. So you really need to pay attention and take the very, very best photos you can do to begin with, because that's going to make your job putting your digital portfolio together much easier, rather than spending hours, which I sometimes do for students, hours balancing the tones, the blue, the yellow, to try and get the best photos that you can do. If you start off taking them in a good light, then your job is going to be so much quicker. Okay, so that's the very first thing I would do. I would also start just organising your work into sort of projects, thinking about what project have you got and what is all the work that you have that relates to that project, so that you can see the journey from very, very first idea. Maybe you've got a mind map, sketchbooks, drawings, things that kind of the preparatory parts of a project, all the way through to the final pieces. Okay, so that you're starting to see a coherent body of work for one or two projects. You don't have to have this journey for every single project that you have. You might have some life drawing, or you might have some work that is just sort of standalone photographs. But if you've got a project that you have worked through from sketchbooks, initial drawings, right through to the final pieces, then it's really good to be able to show that in your digital portfolio. What else can I get you thinking about with your digital portfolios? I think one thing is to be aware of what they're looking for in terms of number of images, what they're looking for in terms of how do they want to see it. Some colleges want you to make a Tumblr page. image, you know. Some want you to upload individual JPEG images to their portal, others want a PDF. Some colleges don't specify, you know, so that's almost as useful as, you know, that's for me, having no specification about how many pieces and what kind of portfolio they want to see isn't that useful. So I think just making sure that you're informed, that you know what you're doing, or you know what to expect, that you're taking good photos and you're kind of getting organised. And I would start doing that now, because you don't want to be spending your Christmas holidays fretting, worrying. You know, there's enough at the moment in our lives, isn't there, to be kind of fretting over, you know, what's happening at Christmas, who's going where, what are we able to do, what are we not, what's safe, what's not. And I think, you know, the situation with exams as well happening next year or not, we still don't really know across many parts of the UK what's happening with exams next year. I am sensing from the students that I'm working with that stress levels are quite high, and, you know, it's just another thing, isn't it? So really making sure that you're organised with these digital portfolios, getting information, getting it written down. You know, don't have it all swimming around in your head. If you can write things in, I hate to say it, a spreadsheet. You don't have to do it in a spreadsheet, but just get it on a bit of paper. Get it in your sketchbook. Get it on a piece of paper, an A4 piece of paper, which college you're applying to, when the deadlines are for the digital portfolios, how many pieces are they looking for, what kind of format do they want to see it in. If that's on a piece of paper, on your wall at home, on your piece of your studio at school, if you get a little space in 6th year, sometimes students do, it's out of your head. You know, it's something that's out there. You can look at it when you want to, your parents can see it. You know, it's not just swimming around in your head along with all the other deadlines and tick lists you've got. You know, let's just kind of try and get organised. And one thing I would also say to you, I've had a few students saying to me they're just working so hard because they really want to get into the colleges that they're applying to. They're applying to very competitive schools. I'm all wrapped up. Is to make sure you're getting out. You know, make sure you're getting a break. Make sure you're getting some sunshine. I know it's not always sunny, but when it is, you know, really, really be aware of making sure that you're taking a break and looking after yourself. You know, we've all taken this last year, you know, differently. We've all handled it differently. And even if you think you've handled it well, I think you perhaps, I mean, I kind of feel like we've coped really well. Our daughter's coped really well over the last year. She's gone up to high school this year. It's her first year at high school. She's coping incredibly well. But you kind of think maybe, you know, just taking your foot off the gas a little bit, and, you know, things can creep up on you before you know it. You know, the really dark nights are here and December comes, and, you know, that's really when you want to be on your A game. Okay, so please look after yourselves. I'm imploring you to spend a bit of time outside, take the dog for a walk, spend some time outside with your chums. I know you can only meet up with so many people at the moment, but yeah, just take a break from your work on a regular basis, and I'm sure it will help you get back to it, you know, with a bit of clarity. Okay, so hopefully that's helpful. I'm going to go because I'm absolutely freezing. Well, I'm kind of cosy, but my hands are freezing holding the phone. If you've got any questions about digital portfolios, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them. I'll do a questions and answers video if you want me to, or if you post in the comments below, I can answer them there, and you can all see any answers that I might have to questions that you've got. But if you need any help with digital portfolios, of course I'm always here. I have got room to take on some extra students over December and January, just to work on the digital portfolio with you. So if you feel that that would be helpful and it would take the pressure off, it will certainly take the pressure off. It's another thing to not have to think about too much. Let me know. You know, I've been really organised myself this year with my students because they've all been online. I've not been seeing students face to face this year at all. But I've been really organised in managing my time so that you know, I'm ready for digital portfolio deadlines too. So I have got space to work with probably 2 or 3 students who want me just to help them with their digital portfolios and get them submitted with much less stress than perhaps would normally be. So get in touch if you do. Anyway, hope they find you well, and take care. See you soon.